Episode 10, Semera. Welcome to Helen's journey. Improve your English skills through this exciting story about Helen, an Ethiopian-American girl exploring Ethiopia and trying to find her birth family. Brought to you by the U.S. Embassy to Ethiopia. The U.S. invests in Ethiopians. Episode 10, Semera. Welcome back, friends. Previously on Helen's journey, Helen and Khaled have been traveling to different parts of Ethiopia for their research. Now they're going to the Afar region. Khaled offers to help Helen with something. What is it? Let's listen and find out.
Have you been to the Afar region before?
No, this is my first time.
It's too bad you can't come to the Danakil Depression with me and Lydia.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. But I need to send all my spare money to my family in Agaro. Someday, I'll travel to Danakil. Is Lydia flying to Semera or Makale?
Makale. The tour company is picking her up and driving her out to Danakil. And then I will meet her there from Semera after our research.
Okay. It will be strange flying back to Addis by myself. Now I am accustomed to traveling with you.
I know. It will be weird for me to travel from Semera to Danakil by myself. I'm also used to having you around.
So, Semera is a relatively new town. It was established in the 90s and there is not much infrastructure. The people of Afar are traditionally nomadic and many of them still are. So villages move with people. We are going to meet our security detail, local guide and interpreter all in Semera this afternoon.
This is going to be such an adventure.
Yes, the local guide will direct us to some of the villages. We have to rent a vehicle with four-wheel drive to reach some of the places.
Okay, even if we can't collect data from the people here this trip, maybe we can establish some relationships and come back in the future to conduct our full survey.
That's true, but I don't know when we can come back. We have so many other trips, and after January, it might be too hot for us to visit here.
Maybe it's too hot for you. I can handle it.
True. You are good at handling the heat. Maybe you are originally from Afar.
Maybe. Actually, since you brought that up, may I ask you for a favor?
Of course.
If there is time today or before we leave Semera, do you think you could arrange that I go with the interpreter and local guide to visit some of the government offices?
Why?
Well, I'm sorry I haven't told you this before, but in addition to our research for school, I am also doing some personal research.
What kind of personal research?
Do you remember how I told you I was adopted from Ethiopia?
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to find information about my birth family. I've been visiting local institutions in each city we visit and inquiring about the adoption agency that my parents in America used.
Wow.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I just didn't want you to think that I wasn't taking our communications research seriously.
No, it's okay. You don't have to apologize for not telling me. This is a personal situation. But now that you have told me, let me help you.
Help me?
Yes, I can help you make inquiries at the local authorities. Most government workers speak Amharic.
I can't ask you to help me. You already do so much for our fieldwork.
Please, it's no problem. I want you to find your family. Family is the most important thing in the world. You are blessed to have two families, an American family and an Ethiopian family.
Thank you so much. It has actually been very difficult to effectively communicate at the government offices.
So, you are inquiring about the adoption agency? Do you know which region you come from?
No, I only know the name of the adoption agency. My paperwork doesn't have details about where I was born or where I lived until I was 3 years old. I don't know my biological parents' names or anything, but I do have this. It's a picture of my birth mother and me. It was in the file with my adoption paperwork.
Wow, your mother looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Do you remember her?
Not too much. I have a couple memories, but I don't know if they are real or if I imagined them.
The picture is torn. Where is the other half?
That's the big mystery of my life. This was all that was in the file given to my adoptive parents. We don't know what's on the other side.
Do you think it's your father? Maybe brothers and sisters?
I think about that all the time. I want to find my birth mother and ask her.
Well, our research trips are now more exciting.
Yeah, my best friend in the US, Semera, calls it my unofficial research.
I like that title, Unofficial Research.
Oh, I just remembered. Speaking of our official research, I think we should submit a proposal to attend a conference. There is a big communications academic conference in Chicago next June. We already have some research finished, so we can present what we have learned so far.
I'm not familiar with the process of conference proposals. This is my first year of graduate school.
Oh, right. Sorry. So, academic conferences are big meetings where professors from our field, journalism and communications, come from all over the country or the world and present research to each other. It's a place to learn because we can attend presentations from other researchers, and it's a place to network.
Network?
Make connections with other people in our field. We could meet people who will help us get jobs in the future.
So, you want us to give a presentation?
Yeah, we can present the research we have done here. It will be good for us to get some professional feedback. Then, eventually, we can submit our work to a journal for publication.
But how can I go to America?
If our proposal is accepted, we will apply for a visa for you. Chicago is only a couple hours from my hometown, so we can visit my family and I can show you around.
I would love that. But I mean more. How can we afford to go there? Flights to America are very expensive. Even if I can get a visa, I'm not sure if I can go.
We can apply for a funding grant. A lot of academic conferences have opportunities to pay for flights, conference fees, and hotels. But first we have to focus on our proposal. Then we can worry about the details. Are you interested?
Of course.
Great. I will start writing the proposal. I think people will be really interested in our work. And when we get back to Addis, we can discuss with Dr. Hagos. He can help us with the proposal.
Wow. Look at the Afar region.
It's incredible. It's amazing how people are able to live in this kind of climate.
Yeah. I don't know how they survive without that much water.
I read that the U.S. Embassy has been helping with a clean water project here that helped get 80,000 people access to safe drinking water.
That's great. I hope you are ready to eat some meat and drink some milk.
Yes, I am.
I'm jealous. Khalid and Helen get to see all these amazing places in Ethiopia. They've just landed, and Alamayu is calling Khalid to ask him for some help. What kind of help does he need? Let's listen and find out.
Alex?
Hello, Khalid. Sorry to disturb you while you are doing fieldwork.
It's okay. You are not disturbing anything.
How is Afar? Are you wearing a shirt yet?
Not yet. We just landed in Semera. But they look really comfortable. Maybe I will get one. Should I bring you one?
I'm happy wearing trousers, thanks. But you can bring me one of the gile.
I don't think I'm going to be able to take a long curved knife on an airplane back to Addis.
When will you be back in Addis?
In 4 days. Is everything okay?
Yes. So you'll be back in time for the protest?
The protest about the cafeteria food?
Yeah. I'm going to attend to write a story about it for the student newsletter. I would like you to come with me, if you have time.
Of course. I can come with you if you need, but I don't live on campus. I don't care about the cafeteria food.
I know. I'm not asking you to attend as a protester. I'm asking you to attend with me, just to help me with the reporting.
Help you how?
You know, you can help me watch what is happening. You might notice something I don't. You can talk to protesters. I can talk to protesters. You'll be like my research partner for the day. Like you are Helen's research partner in Afar, eh?
I'm happy to help you, brother, but this is Africa. Protesters often turn violent. I don't want to get in a fight with anyone.
I have spent a lot of time interviewing the protest organizers. They have been instructing students to not be violent. They know their message will be better received by the administration if they protest peacefully.
They might not be planning to get violent, but things happen. The police might start something.
I don't think you need to worry about that.
Do you even know? This is your first campus protest in Addis.
I have seen many campus protests in Bahar Dar. I know things can get out of control. But I'm telling you that the protest organizers are committed to peaceful protest.
That's good for them, but they can't control the crowd. When someone starts something, everyone gets panicked.
It will be okay. It's just a protest about cafeteria food. Nobody will get panicked.
Okay, I'll come help you.
Thanks. Enjoy your time in Afar.
Alamayu is confident the protest won't be violent, but Khalid is nervous. Who is right? Let's listen to future episodes and find out. Now, for an English language lesson. Time for vocabulary. Let's look at 5 words from the story. Our first vocabulary term is establish. Khalid told Helen,
So, Semera is a relatively new town. It was established in the 90s and there is not much infrastructure. The people of Afar are traditionally nomadic and many of them still are, so villages move with the people.
establish is a verb that in this context means to begin or create. Semera was created as a town in the 1990s. Our second vocabulary word is conference. Helen said,
Oh, I just remembered. Speaking of our official research, I think we should submit a proposal to attend a conference. There is a big communications academic conference in Chicago next June. We already have some research finished, so we can present what we have learned so far.
Conference is a noun that means a formal meeting in which many people gather in order to talk about ideas or problems related to a particular topic, usually for several days. Helen and Khalid want to attend a conference on communications research. The third vocabulary word is relatively. Khalid said,
So, Semera is a relatively new town.
relatively is an adverb that means when compared to others. Semera is a new town compared to some other towns and cities in Ethiopia. Our fourth vocabulary word is adventure. Helen said,
This is going to be such an adventure.
adventure is a noun that means an exciting or dangerous experience. Helen believes visiting Afar will be an exciting experience. And the fifth vocabulary term is it's too bad. Helen told Khalid,
It's too bad you can't come to the Danakil Depression with me and Lydia.
it's too bad is an expression that means it's an unfortunate or regrettable situation. Helen wants Khalid to travel with her to the Danakil Depression, but he can't come, so she's expressing that it is unfortunate. Next time someone can't join you for something enjoyable, try saying, "Oh, it's too bad you can't come." Time for expressing yourself in English. Asking for a favor. Asking for a favor means asking for help. Helen asked Khalid for a favor. Let's listen again.
Maybe. Actually, since you brought that up, may I ask you for a favor?
Of course.
If there is time today or before we leave Semera, do you think you could arrange that I go with the interpreter and local guide to visit some of the government offices?
Helen first says, "May I ask you for a favor?" This is a very polite way to ask someone to help you. Then she explains what she needs help with from Khalid. That's one way to ask for help. Let's listen to another example.
Yes, you'll be back in time for the protest.
The protest about the cafeteria food?
Yeah, I'm going to attend to write a story about it for the student newsletter. I would like you to come with me if you have time.
Alamayu wants Khalid to help him at the protest. So he says, "I would like you to come with me if you have time." He uses "I would like," which is a very polite way to ask for something. And he adds "if you have time," which makes the request more polite. Next time you need to ask for help, try saying, "May I ask you a favor?" or "I would like help if you have time." Time for grammar. Obligations with have to. In English, we can express that something is an obligation or necessary with the verb phrase have to. Let's look at some examples from the episode. Khalid said,
Yes, the local guide will direct us to some villages. We have to rent a vehicle with four-wheel drive to reach some of the places.
Khalid means that it is necessary to rent a vehicle with four-wheel drive for the trip they're taking. It's a requirement. Let's look at another example. Helen said,
We can apply for a funding grant. A lot of academic conferences have opportunities to pay for flights, conference fees, and hotels. But first we have to focus on our proposal. Then we can worry about the details. Are you interested?
Khalid is nervous about the process of going to a conference, but Helen means that first it is necessary to focus on the proposal. Time for facts on American culture and education. Alamayu is very sure the protest on campus will be peaceful. The United States has an important history with nonviolent protests. In the 1950s and 1960s, civil rights activists such as Rosa Parks, John Lewis, Martin Luther King Jr., and many other people dedicated themselves to changing American laws that discriminated against African Americans. They committed to using nonviolence in their fight for racial equality, and they successfully changed people's minds and got many laws changed. Thank you for listening to Helen's Journey. We'll see you next time. The introduction and closing music, Blue Ska, is by Kevin MacLeod, Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons.
Executive Producer, Hailu Kabada. Directors, Abdullah Birru, Antaneh Brahani. Sound and Editing, Tamrat Alamu. Narrator, Timothy Green. Casts, Theodros Tasama as Alamayo. Zarihum Brahanu as Khalid. Adana Gitacho as Zagaya.